Welcome to Biozone classes. In today's session, we are going to look into cancer in a very basic and detailed way. Today's session will include topics such as types of tumor, types of cancer, and how a normal cell gets transformed into a cancerous cell. So let's get started. We will start off with a basic life story. Each of our bodies are made up of cells. In fact, many cells, or better, millions of cells. And each cell in our body has a specified function. The cell undergoes regulated division, differentiation, and apoptosis. And most importantly, it shows the property of contact inhibition. And this is how a normal cell works properly. But what will happen if one of these properties of division or differentiation, apoptosis, or contact inhibition undergoes some changes? Or there are some mutations, we can say, which will inhibit the cell in undergoing apoptosis, or a cell suddenly loses its property of contact inhibition. So what will happen? Whenever such a situation happens, the cell gets transformed into a tumor or neoplasmic cell. So whenever a normal cell loses its control over its division, differentiation, and apoptosis, it becomes a tumor cells. And a group of such tumor cells are referred to as tumor or neoplasm. Now, there could be many reasons for why a cell becomes a tumor cell. None of the cell in the first place wants to undergo such a risky process. None of the cell itself want to become a tumor cell. The cell cycling and the whole mechanism happening inside the cell is highly regulated. But at times, things might happen. There might be some genetic changes, there might be some mutations or epigenetic changes leading to the transformation of a normal cell into a tumor or neoplasmic cell. But one of the most common property of the tumor cell is that a normal cell, in comparison to a normal cell, a tumor cell does not have control over its division. So more appropriately, we can define a tumor as the result of abnormal or uncontrolled proliferation of cells. This is the better term for tumor, the result of abnormal or uncontrolled proliferation of cell. Usually, a tumor in our body is considered to be synonymous with cancer, but that's not always the case. There are two types of cancer based on their invasiveness. It could be a benign tumor, it could be a malignant tumor. We'll start off with a benign tumor. Benign tumor contain the neoplastic cells that remain clustered and confined together in a single mass and do not spread to other parts of the body. That means if there is a tumor in our body and that is a benign tumor, it will stay in the particular organ it was born. It will not spread, it will not proliferate to other parts of the body. And due to this property of benign tumor, they are not as harmful as compared to the malignant tumors about which we will be studying next. The next property is benign tumors are non-cancerous in nature. The presence of benign tumor in our body does not ensure that we have cancer. So these are non-cancerous cells. The third important property is there is invasiveness, which is the characteristic feature of a tumor cell. The invasiveness is not present in the benign tumor. They are not invasive. They do not invade the neighboring cells. And they contain the cells which closely resemble the normal cell. And they may function like the normal cell. So these were the major characteristics of a benign tumor. Now we'll move on to the malignant tumor. A malignant tumor is a group of neoplastic cells that do not remain localized and encapsulated and spread to other organs of the body. Like in the previous section, we studied how benign tumor used to stay confined to a single region. This is not the case with malignant tumors. They do not remain localized and encapsulated to the particular organ, but instead they spread and proliferate to other organs of the body. Now, how do they spread and proliferate? Is by the means of our body fluids, which are generally blood and lymph. Another most important property is they are the cancerous cell. Unlike benign tumor, which were non-cancerous, malignant tumors are associated with cancer. The presence of malignant tumor in our body ensures that we have cancer. This is the stage when we can say that we are detected with cancer. The presence of malignant tumor in our body indicates cancer. So the cells of malignant tumor are cancerous. The next character of malignant tumor is they became progressively invasive. Now, invasiveness is a characteristic feature of malignant tumor which is not observed in benign tumor. In invasiveness, the cells of benign tumor invade the surrounding normal tissue. They became progressively invasive and malignant. And the fourth and last important property of malignant tumor is that there is metastasis. Metastasis is observed in such cells, and metastasis is one of the most important and yet the most dangerous property of malignant tumor, or we can say cancer in general. So let's have a look on what exactly metastasis is. So metastasis is a phenomena in which cancer cells spread to distant sites through body fluids, the circulatory or lymphatic system to develop secondary tumor, which is referred to as metastasis. So this definition exactly gives us the idea why benign tumors are not considered to be cancerous. Because benign tumors do not have the capability or characteristics to get transferred or proliferate to other sites of the body using the body fluids. Meanwhile, in the case of malignant tumor, this property is present. Hence, we can say at this point that malignant tumors are cancerous because of their property of metastasis, the phenomena in which the cancerous cells spread to distant sites through body fluid, circulatory or lymphatic system and develop a secondary tumor. This entire process is referred to as metastasis. Now here is a comparison of what we have studied till now regarding the benign and malignant tumor. In the first column, you can see there are characteristics on the basis of which we are going to compare both the tumors, the benign and the malignant tumor. The first one is differentiation. The differentiation of cell is present in benign tumor and malignant tumor or not. So differentiation of cell is highly observed in benign tumor. The cells of benign tumor are very well differentiated. As we studied, they are almost similar to the normal cells. Meanwhile, in the case of malignant cells, they lack differentiation. The cells of malignant tumor lack differentiation. The next characteristic is rate of growth. In benign tumor, the rate of growth is slow. Meanwhile, in case of malignant tumor, it's highly rapid. The malignant tumor grow invasively at a very fast rate. The third characteristic is invasiveness, which is once again absent in benign tumors while is present in case of malignant tumors. The ability to invade the surrounding tissues is not observed in benign tumors but is a characteristic feature of malignant tumors. Fourth one is the property of metastasis, which is once again not observed in the case of benign tumors but is present in malignant tumors. And then there is cancerous nature of the cell. As we studied, the cells of benign tumor are non-cancerous in nature. They do not cause cancer. Meanwhile, the malignant tumor cells are cancerous in nature and are responsible for the causation of cancer. Now a question arises, what are the ancestors of a tumor cell? Are the tumor cells monoclonal in origin? That is, they arise from a single cell, or are they polyclonal in origin, arising from a group of cells? So the answer to this question is, most of the cancerous cells are monoclonal in origin. That is, they originate from a single abnormal cell. That one single cell in our body undergoes some mutation or genetic changes, or there are many other factors which force a cell to undergo such changes, and then this cell becomes abnormal, leading to the transformation of a normal cell to the cancerous cell. And this one single abnormal cell is responsible for the causation of cancer in our body. That means the cancer is monoclonal in origin. Most of the cancers are generally monoclonal in origin. So here is what happens to a normal cell that leads to its transformation to a cancerous cell. There is a normal cell which might undergo genetic changes, that is the change in DNA sequences, Or it might also undergo epigenetic changes, which are change in the pattern of gene expression without the change in DNA sequences. And both of these changes, the genetic changes or the epigenetic changes, can lead to the transformation of a normal cell into a cancerous cell. Most of the cancers which are initiated by the genetic changes in somatic cells are not transmitted to the next generation. Why? Because these are initiated in the somatic cell. Most of the cancers initiated by genetic changes are in somatic cells and hence are not transmitted to the next generation. On the other hand, only 1% of all the cancers in our body are initiated by genetic changes in germinal cell. And that is very rare for a cancer to be initiated in germinal cell. The chances are 1%. It is very rare. And being initiated in germinal cells, these cancers have the capability to get inherited to the next generation. Although the chances are very rare, but still it is possible. And out of all the cancers that are being inherited to the next generation, 80% of them are dominant in nature. Now we will come on to how a normal cell gets transformed into a cancerous cell. There are four basic stages, from initiation, promotion, progression to at last metastasis. We'll start step by step from initiation. In initiation, normal cells are changed so that they are able to form tumors. Now, how do they change? There might be genetic changes, there might be epigenetic changes which might take place, and exogenous and endogenous factors are responsible for such changes. So, in the step of initiation, which is a very primitive step, normal cells are changed so that they are able to form tumors, and genetic changes or epigenetic changes are responsible for these changes. The next step is promotion, in which there is increased proliferation of initiated cells. Initiated cells were the group of cells in which the genetic changes were there. And after the step of initiation, in the promotion step, there is increased proliferation of those initiated cells only. This increased proliferation causes the increase in the population of initiated cells. And also, the increased cell turnover is also observed in this stage. So in the promotion stage, there is increased proliferation of initiated cells, causing increased population of initiated cells and leading to the increased cell turnover. The third stage is progression, which is the process of acquiring additional genetic changes that lead to malignancy and metastasis. Genetic instability is observed in this stage. In the stage of progression, the tumor cells acquire some additional genetic changes, and these additional genetic changes provide these cells the important characteristics of cancer cells, which is malignancy and metastasis. And the last stage is metastasis, which is the most harmful stage of a cancerous cell, in which the tumor turns invasive and the cancer cell starts to spread to distant site through body fluids, by blood or lymph, and outgrow the normal growing neighboring cells. Now, there are different types of cancer on the basis of tissue from where they arose. There are basically four types. Epithelial tissue cancers are referred to as carcinomas. If the cancer is arise from the mesenchymal tissue, it is referred to as sarcomas. There are hematopoietic cancers of hematopoietic tissues, and then there are neuroectodermal cancers. Carcinomas is the cancer of epithelium tissue and is one of the most common cancer found in the human body. It includes cervical cancer, breast cancer, skin cancer, brain cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, etc. And most of the carcinomas fall into two categories: squamous cell carcinomas or adenocarcinomas. If the cancer arises from the protective cell layer of our body, the protective epithelial cell layer of our body, it is referred to as squamous cell carcinomas. And if the cancer arises from the secretory epithelia or glands in our bodies, it is referred to as adenocarcinomas. So 80% of all the tumors in our body are carcinomas, and they are the most common type of cancer. Melanomas, for example, is referred to as the cancers of melanocyte cells. Then there is sarcomas, which include the cancer of bones, cartilage, tendon, adipose tissue, lymphoid tissue, or in general any kind of connective tissue. 1% of all the tumors in our body are sarcomas. Indicating sarcomas is a very rare condition. Here are some examples like osteoma is the bone cancer, lipomas is the cancer of adipose tissue, lymphoma is the cancer of lymphoid tissue. We will move on to another type of cancer that is one of the most commonly observed cancer, and it is leukemia. Leukemia is the abnormal increase of white blood corpuscles count due to their increased formation in the bone marrow, and most commonly leukemia is referred to as blood cancer. We celebrate the World Cancer Day on February 4, which is one of the most important day to spread the awareness regarding this abnormal condition, this disease. World Cancer Day is celebrated on February 4. And then the most common types of cancer which are observed in India are mouth and throat cancer in men and uterine cervical cancer in women. These are the most common types of cancers which are observed in India. This sums up our today's session. In the coming session, we will be discussing the most important properties of a cancerous cell and how do a normal cell gets transformed into a cancerous cell in a little more detail. We will also be discussing the genes related to cancer like tumor suppressing genes and proto-oncogenes, the molecular basis of cancer, and the carcinogens in more details. So stay connected. Thank you. For more such videos, subscribe to Biozone Classes.